Hey lovelies, what is up? Okay, if you are excited about learning Tunisian crochet, you're going to be even more excited about learning how to do this Tunisian crochet chevron stitch. It's super easy. It's really beginner. You'll be learning decreasing and increasing. And also, I'm going to briefly cover how to do just a basic border around your project so that it looks nice and neat. I'll also show you how to seam up your item once we get our strip made. Alrighty? So, if you are ready to have a lot of fun, go ahead and grab your favorite Tunisian crochet hook. Mine is a 7mm, 10-inch. I like this for a couple reasons. Number one, because its length is perfect. I can cast on a lot of stitches. And number two, it does not get caught on like my clothing or like whatever is close to me. The 12 and 14 inches tend to get caught on a lot of things, and there's a link right below for you to get a pack of these if you would like. For the rest of the project, the border, I used a size 5.25. I like to size down on my border. Whether you size down in hooks is up to you. So I started out the first row of border with single crochet, the second row of border with half double crochet. Alright, nice and easy. And I wanted to mention too, if you find another stitch, you can latch it on to this. Just make sure your stitch count matches whatever stitch you're trying to accomplish. Alright, so go ahead and grab your hooks. You're going to need multiples of 12 plus 1 for this pattern. So I'll meet you guys in the next scene with a chain of 25. Alright. Okay, so we have our chain of 25, and for this project, I'm going to just use the top loop to pick up all my my stitches, or my loops here. So just pick up all of your loops and do a normal closing. I'll meet you guys right back over here. We'll do our normal closing. Alright, so we've got all of our loops on our hook, and we're just going to do a normal closing. So yarn over, pull up one loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops all the way down. I'll meet you guys right back over here. Alright, so we have our foundation row complete. Before we get started though, I want to make a note that when we're doing our edge stitches on the left, you're going to want to make your chain 1 loosely. And I'm going to show you guys, I'm just making a note ahead of time, because if you don't chain 1 loosely when we get over to here, which is basically, the yarning over and pulling up a loop, it's going to draw your project to the left. You're going to have a curve, and your stitches over here are going to be tighter than your end loops over here are going to be tighter than your beginning loops over here. And the reason this happens is because the increase at the end of the row, because we're going to make an increase at the beginning and at the end, but the one at the end of the row draws up the tension and it leaves your loops on the end a little bit too tight. Okay, so just want to keep that in mind before we get started. Now we're going to start off with an increase. So skipping your first vertical bar, this is going to be skipped the entire pattern. Insert your hook into the horizontal loop that's in between those 2 bars. So insert your hook into the front horizontal loop, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Increase made. Voila. Now we're going to, these don't count as stitches. We're going to pick up loops in the next 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now we're going to do a decrease. Hang on just a second here. Okay, so for the decrease, you're going to yarn over and pull through 3 loops in this case. Now we're going to pick up loops in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to make an increase. So from here, Just like in the beginning, the increase is made in between the two vertical bars through the horizontal loop in the front. So insert your hook into that horizontal loop, yarn over, pull up, your increase is made. Then we're going to make a simple stitch, or a modified simple stitch, the way I'm doing it here, using the vertical bar and horizontal loop. Insert your hook into those strands. Okay, stitch made. Now we need one more increase. So we did increase, stitch made, and now we're going to do one more increase. Yarn over, pull up a loop, increase made. Now from here we're going to pick up loops in the next 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we're ready for another decrease, just like over here. So we're going to yarn over and pull through 3 loops. Decrease made. Now we're going to pick up loops in the next 4 stitches. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, we have to do an increase. So in between the vertical bars, there's our horizontal loop. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, your increase is made. And then you're going to use your end stitches as normal for your last stitch. All right, now let's see what it looks like once we spread it out. Okay, so we've got our little peaks. We've got 2. All right, now from here, it's just a normal closing on every single row from here on, just like in the first row. I'm not going to show it every time, but I will show you guys. You yarn over, pull up 1 loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops all the way down. All right, I'll meet you guys right back over here for row 2. Okay, now in all honesty, row 2 is just the same as row 1. It just looks a little different, and I wanted to go through it with you guys so that you know exactly what to do. All right, so we finished our row, and now we're going to do our increase again. Yarn over, pull up 1, there you go. Now we're going to pick up the next 7 stitches. Okay, so we've got our 5th stitch, which is always going to happen right before you meet your decrease from the previous row. So 5, 6, 7. All right, now we're ready to do another decrease. So yarn over and pull your yarn through 3 loops. Now we're going to crochet, or we're going to pick up loops in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do our increase. So remember, in between the vertical bars, your front horizontal loop, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. Then you're going to make your stitch, simple stitch, and then we need one more increase. So between the next vertical bars, insert your hook into that front horizontal loop, yarn over, pull up. All right, increase made. Now you're going to need to pick up loops in the next 7 stitches. So let's do that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now remember, our 5th stitch is right before our decrease from the previous row. 5, 6, 7, and we're going to make another decrease. Yarn over, pull through 3. Okay, and then we're going to crochet, or I keep saying crochet, I'm so used to, going back and forth here. Okay, excuse me. We're going to pick up stitches in the next, or pick up loops in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we've got to do our increase. So in between the horizontal bars, or the vertical bars there, pick up your front horizontal loop, yarn over, pull up 1, and then we want to make a big yarn over, or a big chain 1 over here. So let's go through that again. Okay, we did our increase. We're going to insert our hook into our last stitch space there, pull up your loop a little bit bigger, and then make a nice loose chain 1. And then proceed with the normal closing. Alright, so go ahead and follow this method all the way up to the desired length of your project. And I'll see you guys in the next scene. Okay, I've already snipped my yarn and pulled it through, so I'm ready to do my join. Okay, so go ahead and get your needle threaded, and make sure that when you snip off your yarn that you leave enough to sew. Okay, I'll meet you guys in the next scene where we're going to start sewing together our edge right here. Okay, so we're ready to sew our cowl together. So we've got our working yarn that we have threaded into our needle, and then we have our other side. Okay, so you're going to want to match up stitch for stitch. I'm going to insert my needle right here. This is the very edge loops. Okay, just right in there. I did catch a little bit of yarn right there. Let's see if I could just... I know, I shouldn't do this, but I'm doing it. Okay, there we go. That's in case I have to come back. I don't want to have to come back through that, like, tear or anything. Okay. Huh, that was a little, tip, too. You can use that if you need to. Okay, now, what you're going to do is insert your needle into that front horizontal loop and right through the vertical bar. Okay? Just like that. And into the next loop. Alright, just stitch for stitch, same thing. Horizontal loop, vertical bar, catch your next loop. This is just a simple, easy way to get this sewn together, and it turns out nice and neat on the other side. horizontal loop, get your vertical bar, insert your needle into the next loop. There's no need to pull too tight. It's going to do its magic all on its own, okay? Horizontal loop, vertical bar, next loop. Gosh, I hope I didn't go out of frame right there. I'm going to have to check. I'll just do another couple stitches just so you guys can see in case I did. Alright, so alright, and let's do one more. Alright, let's see what it's looking like on the other side. Fantabulous. Okay, so go ahead and continue this method all the way down to the last stitches, and I'll see you guys over on the other end. Okay, let's see. Alright, it's shaping up real beautifully. Okay, I'll see you guys back over here. Okay, so we have our cowl sewn together. I'm just going to leave my little stragglers here and handle those later on. I've got my black ones. I'm going to weave those in. Otherwise, we're ready to start our border. Okay? Now, I like to size down a couple of notches when I'm doing the border, just because the border stitches usually tend to be, I don't know, a little smaller, so I use a smaller hook. You can use whatever hook you would like. If you use the same size hook like a Tunisian, your crochet border is going to be, you know, a little bit loose because this is a big gauge. So it's up to you on whether you want to size down or not. So choose any spot. Let's see, I will choose a spot over here. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up one loop, and then just go ahead and chain one. And we're just going to make a single crochet border around. So in each edge stitch there, just make a single crochet. This is going to draw your project together too. It won't be all loose on the edges like it is now. Okay, so go ahead and make your single crochet all the way around on both sides. Okay, go ahead and join however you're going to join, whether it's invisible seam or, you know, slip stitch into the next stitch. However you're going to join, go ahead and join on both sides. Okay, and I'll meet you on when we're done with both sides. Yay! Okay, we have our beginning border on both sides. Now, from here, what you can do is, you know, you can find a stitch, like if you want to do something fancier, you can find a stitch and make sure that you have enough stitches for that particular count, or you can just, you know, be simple and easy. And you can either make another row of single crochets around, or you can just do half double crochet. So I'm going to make a standing double, because I like to do half double crochet. And the reason I make a standing double and not like a miniature version of a half double is because it just looks better, in my opinion. Okay, and then just proceed with half double crochet all the way around. Okay, make sure you do your join. Do the same thing to the other side. Alright, I'll meet you guys right back over here and we'll be finished. Wow, I really love the chunky look of this, even though it's not a chunky yarn. Man, you guys are really going to like this yarn. Okay, so it looks nice and neat with the single crochet and the half double crochet on the edge. Okay, let me know what you guys think. Please leave a comment. Feel free to ask a question. Otherwise, I will chit chat with you guys in the very near future. Peace out.